It's Q&A with RA.
Q&A
with RA.
Oh, I'm not worried. I looked down.
Yeah.
There it is. This is what, episode 4 or 5?
I think it's the fourth one we've done, yeah. I think we're 4 deep. We're getting kind of into a rhythm with these. They've been a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys have been checking those out. Man, whenever you set something down, that mic just absolutely blasts me in the ears. It's fine.
I will do that in the middle of your question.
Okay, all right. I appreciate that. I'll have to turn you down a little bit.
All right, so last week I went first. The week before that we did some silly rock, paper, scissors. So why don't I just be a gentleman? Andrew Reese, you go ahead and go first this week.
Okay, let's do it. My first question, this came from...
Actually, hold on. Time out. Let me set the pace here.
Okay, set the pace.
If you haven't seen one of these before, what we're doing right now, Andrew and I, R&A, we're always on the phone with our partners. We're on stages. We're talking to people all the time. We get frequently asked questions on a regular basis. So these are a version of those. They might not be the exact question I got yesterday, but they're questions we get all the time. They're hot questions. They're applicable questions, mostly to do with seminars, digital marketing. That's what this is. So these are going to be top questions.
And for what it's worth, our format with this is we don't ask each other these questions. We don't prep each other with these questions prior to the video. So what you're seeing is unedited, kind of just raw responses, as if they were asked to us live on the phone. And this is how we would respond if somebody was asking this question on a call. So
if you guys have questions watching this, put it in the comments below. I thought about that yesterday when we were approving a demo. It's like, hey, we never say if you have anything, ask it. But if you have anything, ask it. We'll answer it.
And subscribe, because we're going to do these often. This format of video, these are usually going to be about 20 minutes long, 25 minutes long. We have always, we've been dropping a lot of shortcuts. Those are between 3 and 5 minutes. We've got some vlogs. Those are a lot more fun, like kind of entertainment more so than business, although there's always good little business tips in there as well. But all those videos are dropping all the time. And these ones I think are kind of my favorite to shoot.
They're my favorite, by far.
They're easy. They're real, and so let's just dive right in.
Okay.
This question came from an advisor in the Kansas City market, which if you've done any digital marketing with Facebook ads, specifically for financial advisors, you may know that Kansas City is one of the harder markets to market in. We've had good success there, but it can be a tougher market because, frankly, there's a lot of advisors there and quite a bit of money there, and so there's a fair amount of saturation. So this question is relation to a conversation I had with an advisor about that issue. And he said, Andrew, would it be possible to use my own brand in the marketing instead of one of your umbrella brands?
I know who you're talking about. So, first of all, I feel like I have to define what an umbrella brand is.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I think really the easiest way to say that is turnkey. It's basically what you come to us, you purchase the program, and we run it for you. You don't even have to know how to spell Facebook to run it.
Right.
That's umbrella. So for this particular advisor, we ran an umbrella. We ran a couple of umbrellas. And to be fair, they pulled really well. He got good RSVPs in a very historically tough market. Because there's just a lot of advisors there, and honestly, there's some major FMOs even there. They're constantly doing testing, running campaigns, all that stuff. So it's a little bit more of a challenging market. We get it done, but it's challenging. So with this advisor, we ran the umbrellas, went pretty well. Attendance was a little bit lower than he wanted, than we wanted. So most groups, to throw them under the bus, if I could do that, would just be like, well, I'm sorry, tough, like it didn't work. We put our heads together and said, look, let's run it from your brand. Like, let's give you some sweat equity. Let's give you that brand recognition. Let's get you that authority. So we set it up underneath his brand, ran it, and it was amazing. We've run how many since? I mean, quite a few. 20.
Quite a few, yeah. 6 or 7.
Yeah, this next year is going to be even hotter than that. Happy advisor, happy group we were working with that for that advisor. Happy RA. So.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I answered your question, but it went well.
Yeah, I think the simple answer is yes, you can. We actually have just rolled out our white label program. It is kind of specifically... Oh, did I just steal one of your questions? No? Okay.
No, you didn't. No.
It's kind of specifically for advisors that are seasoned seminar producers. Not, this isn't your first time doing digital marketing or marketing for seminars. We want that program to really be specific to those folks that are actively marketing now anyway and are looking kind of for a boost, especially in those harder markets, because it's kind of that's a long-term relationship. It's not as scalable for us, but if we know, hey, we've got a good relationship with this individual and it's going to be a long-term relationship, we're willing to put the extra time and effort into those types of campaigns. So, yeah.
Okay, good one. Okay, this is like a would you rather, and it's not going to be, anything inappropriate. It's just like straight up.
Would I rather? Okay.
Okay. Right. So you walk into a bar.
Okay. Yes.
And you see Sandy sitting right there.
Oh, come on.
All right, I'm sorry. All right. Okay. Would you rather a campaign that saw 110 registered units and then had 65 units attend, 110, 65 attended, or B, a campaign that had 60 units registered and 35 attended? So in A, it's 59% attendance, in B, it's 58% attendance. One's just higher numbers than the other. Which would you rather?
That is one of those kind of loaded questions because, I mean, if I'm looking at it, like if I'm only planning on marketing one time and I have a staff and I think, I'm just going all in on this one campaign, then of course, I mean, the easy answer is I want the most registrations possible. But kind of philosophically speaking, here at RA, we believe in, again, long-term relationships, consistent marketing, because if you've been in this business for any period of time, you know kind of what it's like to have the peaks and the valleys. And if you go all in and you go ham on a market and get 100 RSVPs and 65 registrations, that feels really good the first time, but it brings in a lot of problems. The first problem, is I think the most obvious one, is audience saturation. You've kind of limited yourself to not be able to market as effectively in that market down the road. The other real problem, and I think a lot of folks don't think about this until after the seminar, is the effectiveness of being able to work the room. If you have 65 units in the room, historically speaking, one buying unit, one household is the equivalent of 1.5 people. So just rough numbers there, that'd be 130 people in the room. You'd probably have to have 5 or 6, maybe even 7 staff people in addition to yourself to adequately work that room to try to get appointments from everybody that's there. So if I'm being really extremely short-sighted, the bigger number, obviously. But if I'm thinking long-term, healthy, I actually shot a shortcut on this topic. I called it don't eat a feast. If you'd rather eat once in the year, then yeah, go with the big number. But if you'd rather eat a healthy, consistent diet throughout the whole year and be able to actually thrive and sustain your business, then no, I'd take the lower number because I'm going to have a higher ROI as a result because I'm going to more effectively work that room, and then I'm going to be able to market again next month instead of having to take 2, 3, 4 months off because I've burned that market.
Dude, and here's my thing on that. Like, you got to be realistic. And I'm happy you said a team, because obviously, I mean, if you have a team of, junior advisors or whatever in your hierarchy, then you could probably take more units. But here's how I look at this. If you have, what did I say, 65 units? 65 units attend. If you did a good job, you hosted a good presentation, people liked you, connected with the audience. I mean, what are we talking? Let's say 50, even if you had 50% appointments, I mean, you're looking at 30 appointments.
Yeah.
I mean, who's going to work 30 appointments? And then what's going to happen is you're going to want to come back the next month and run another one. You're going to add another 30 appointments. You can do one every single day. Very few can actually do that and follow up appropriately. Because we're not just talking one appointment. There's 2, there's 3, there's 4. So I just don't think that's as responsible in most cases. Go with the 35, get 20 good appointments, work through those.
Right.
I think you get a better bang for your buck and you're not destroying your market.
And side note on that, if you get 110 registrations, I have not seen maybe one advisor's office that we've worked with, and there's I'm sure there's a few others. I have not seen an advisor's office that got that many registrations that got a 59% attendance ratio. Right. Usually when that happens, you get more like a 30% attendance ratio. So you actually end up with the same number of people in the room as if you had just gotten the smaller number to begin with. Because again, as you're following up and confirming those people, when you have 100 people that you have to make 2, 3 calls each on to confirm them, suddenly that's 200, 300 phone calls. And if you've got the staff to do it, maybe it gets handled the right way. But it's not responsible long term. You're gonna have lower attendance numbers because you're not gonna follow up adequately. You're not gonna have as good of appointment ratios at the seminar. People are gonna get lost in the mix. I think it's extremely short-sighted to go into it getting, that many registrations. And frankly, it's not a great way for us to run our business either, because maybe we could pull that off once or twice in a market, but afterwards, we're going to piss you off because the results are going to go way down. And even though we may have a decent result, you're not going to be happy because it's not as good as it was before.
Right,
so,
30 units in a room is pretty good, but when you had 100 potential, 30 all of a sudden doesn't sound that good.
Right.
You said 30, but
yeah,
good.
That's a pet peeve question for sure.
I know we should do a whole episode on that one.
Mm-hmm. Next question. I actually just got this one yesterday. I was talking to a group of advisors, and they were thinking about doing some campaigns early in the year. And they said, Andrew, what is the best time of the year to market? Best time of the year to market. Man, those aren't going very far today.
It's still just as impactful, though.
That's right.
I think most people would say spring and fall. Because those are the hot seasons. Everybody's marketing spring and fall. You get through the winter, you just had Christmas and all that stuff. You feel like you took some time off. You need to come back hot and heavy to get your year going. So the spring usually starts that way. And then the fall, everybody gets back from summer vacation, kids are in school. You start heavy marketing again in the fall. So spring and fall are good. You should absolutely be doing it there. I kind of low-key, though, like the summer. Because it's not like... You might have to switch up your strategy a little bit. Maybe you don't run a Social Security library seminar, but what we killed it with, especially this last summer, was dinner seminars.
Yeah.
In the summer, I think, it's not like everybody's gone, and people are still here. And if you think about it strategically, competitively, maybe Andrew, if you're an advisor, maybe you're taking the summer off. You did pretty good in the spring. You're going to take the summer off. You don't think it's a good time to market yourself. Maybe I take advantage of that because I have one less advisor I have to worry about.
Yep.
So I do think you get a competitive edge marketing in seasons where others might not be marketing. The winter's the same way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I like them all. You just have to be strategic about it. I think spring and fall, given, absolutely. You should do it in the summer, and then even in the winter. We had plenty of campaigns we ran after Thanksgiving, before Christmas. And they're not gonna blow it away, but they did well, and you're gonna write good business and get a little Christmas bonus. So
yeah. I would say this question was specific to an advisor in the Great White North, the frozen tundra of Wisconsin.
Ooh, I love it there.
And they were trying to decide if they wanted to do something in January or February. And that's a legitimate question because winter is in Wisconsin. You got to worry about the winter. The ice and the snow and everything that could come up.
Yeah.
I kind of think of that as a little bit of a misnomer, though, because the reality is people that live in those parts of the country are hardy folk, when it comes to bad weather and driving in the bad weather. Certainly, you can have some just bad luck where you get a foot of snow the day that you're supposed to have your workshop. And that is unfortunate. But that's why I often recommend when you're doing, especially doing seminars in the winter, make it a 2-date, because if bad weather's forecasted, you can at least salvage one of those dates by pushing a group to one night or the other. So I don't think there's a bad time of year to market, except maybe the week of major holidays, or maybe the week right before, because you don't want to try to schedule appointments the week of a major holiday. But otherwise, like Rich said, if your competitors are taking that time off and you're the only one marketing, why wouldn't you do it then? Capitalize on everybody else's laziness.
Yep. That's how we built our company so quick.
Yeah. We started probably at the worst time to start a marketing agency. Fall marketing season was like literally in full swing when we started, and we had 0 clients. Started at the bottom, now we're here.
Who was it? I saw a video. Oh man, who's that? Reggie Bush. He was filming Drew Brees. Did you see that by chance? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna post it on my LinkedIn so you'll see it. But Drew Brees is in there. Obviously a very accomplished quarterback, knows what he's doing. He's the leader of his team. They had a Monday night game, so Sunday night or Sunday, I don't know if it's night or whatever. Reggie Bush sneaks into the practice facility and he's like filming Drew Brees, who's the only one there. The most seasoned vet out there probably doesn't everybody would think, out of everybody, he's the most mature. He knows what he's doing, whatever. He's the only one out there an hour after practice still getting his reps. And you could just see him, visualizing. I think visualization in business, visualization in life, in development is so important. If you can't see yourself doing it, you're probably not going to be doing it.
Yeah.
So he's there and he's visualizing, and he's working hard. But man, I just love that picture. That was just that's a leader.
Yeah, I agree. And man, I shot a vlog on this concept. Not exactly this, but the principle that you're talking about was integrated in. People sometimes look at like super talented musicians or super talented athletes or super talented and accomplished business individuals, and they're like, well, they got lucky. They're gifted. They're naturally good at. No, I mean, there are some natural attributes that some people have that make them better than others, but the primary natural attribute that people have that make them better than others is their like willingness to not give up. They don't want to quit. They're always working to improve. They're always practicing. They're always working on themselves to get better. Drew Brees is a fantastic example of that. Like, if anybody could rest on his laurels, it's a guy like Drew Brees. But he's out there working harder than everybody else, knowing that in order to be at the top of his game, to be as competitive as he wants to be, he has to do that. And I think as business owners, we can't ever rest and say, well, I did pretty good last month. I'm taking the next couple months off and chill. We're about to, oh, Richy, we just lost you. Yeah? Did your battery die? Do you have it plugged into power? Whoa. All right. Press record. We're going to have 2 clips. Ethan's going to have to...
Ain't no thing. That's why we got an expert on our team.
That's right. I don't know where that cut off necessarily. Just as business owners, you can't ever rest. You got to keep working. I saw a meme from Elon Musk the other day. I'm not a huge Elon Musk fan, but sometimes he says things that make me smile. He's like, I don't have a 9 to 5. I have a when my eyes open to when my eyes close. And that's true. I mean,
that couldn't be more true.
Yeah, like you're always kind of thinking about your business, and sure, you need to take time off to sharpen the saw, so to speak. But if you're always looking for ways to improve, you're going to keep getting better. And
got to lead by example. Was that my question or yours?
That was my question.
Well, actually, okay, good. This is a perfect segue as a business owner. So this one is more of a question. We don't get a lot, but a lot of the people we talk to have teams. There's going to be inevitably some hiring. There's going to be some firing. There's going to be some stuff like that. So I was talking to an advisor who had a call person to make the confirmation calls that he was letting go, and he was going to bring on a new one. So he didn't ask me this question, but I thought through it. I'm like, it's actually a really smart thing to talk about on these Q&As because we've got a fantastic team. And I think a lot of that goes into kind of the methodical process that we took when we did the interviewing and when we thought about the person and we visualized our team. What did that bring to us? So my question for you is, what do you look for when hiring someone? Just as a personal, just what you know as a boss, just all of that. What are you looking for when you hire someone? What would just be a piece of advice?
There's two key attributes that I look for. The first one is coachability. Like, I need somebody that can accept correction, will accept education, if you will allow us to teach them what it is that we need them to know. Because frankly, there's not a lot of people available that have legitimate experience in digital marketing specifically for financial advisors. I mean, there's just a handful of those people out there. And so if we put out, a job wanted, a job posting for that position, it's not like there's, hundreds of people that are going to come flocking in with years of experience. So we need to be able to train these individuals. So coachability is probably the number one thing that we look for. The other, I'd say it's a very, very close second in my mind, is an attitude of somebody that can just figure it out. Like, you need to have that kind of, it's like a D factor. You don't know, I can't really define it, but you got to be able to figure things out because in the digital marketing world, there's a lot of things that just change, and you have to be able to think on your feet and just figure stuff out. Like I don't necessarily want my employees asking me, how do I, change this? How do I change that? How do I do this? How do I do that? I'll answer those questions. I'm happy to. But one of the things that we look for in all of our employees is just that kind of innate ability to just figure stuff out. Like use the resources that you have, use the resources that have been given to you, the training that we've given to you, and figure stuff out, because we have to be able to think fast and move fast and grow fast.
Dude, I love that, and I would add to it, man. And I don't know if you realize you do this.
Uh-oh.
But you are. No, this is solid. This is good. You are such. How do I want to say this? You are such a leader because you work harder than anybody. Like, I've worked with you as an employee. I've worked, really, honestly, you were at one time, like, over me, right? You had a higher rank than me.
Sure.
I've worked with you level as an employee, and then I've worked with you now as owners of RA. And in every single level of those things, you excel, like, in everything. And I think what I love about that, and again, this is the part where I don't think you're even doing it because people are looking up to you. You just do it because you're Andrew Reese, and Andrew Reese works hard. That's just what it is. So when you work at that level, your employees don't have a choice but to work at that level, right? They just don't, because if they don't, it stands out like a sore thumb, and it instantly creates like a, hey, you better pick it up. You better get going. And I think, so what I'm saying is all of that to say is that it's the same Drew Brees thing. Like, if you're not willing to work hard, why would your employees work hard? And I do hear that a lot. We're in these entrepreneur groups and whatever, and they're wondering why their people aren't motivated, why their people aren't working hard. Bro, it's probably because you're not working hard. It's probably because you're not motivated. Like, maybe you should get up early and work on yourself and get going and have that vision and all that stuff. So I think the best bosses work the hardest, and it forces the employees to work just as hard. Otherwise, they're going to stand out. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that compliment, and I don't know if it's true that I work harder than anybody else, because Richy Hurdle, this guy.
No,
and I'm not trying to be sappy here, but one of the things that impresses me, I can't remember who asked. I think it was my wife, actually. How's it going? We were just about a month in, or maybe 2 months in to RA. A little bit of a stressful time, there was a lot of things going on. And you may not know this about our business, but I live in Indianapolis. I'm in Eastern Standard Time. Richie's in the Denver area. He's in Mountain Standard Time. And so we were trying to figure out, like, what's the most effective way for us to structure our hours? Are we working, 8:30 to 5, each of us? That means Andrew starts the day off by himself, waits a couple hours for Richie to get in. How are we going to do this? And this is going somewhere. Richy Hurdle decided, kind of independent of me, he's like, I'm going to get up at butt crack of dawn every day. I'm going to be at work at 6:30 in the morning. And I thought to myself, I don't know if that's going to last, because I couldn't do that I would burn out quick. For over a year now, Richy Hurdle has done that every single day, and I have not once heard a complaint. That's the example that he sets for our team. He's up at 4:35 every day. He's in the office by 6:30, and you might think, oh, so he quits his day at 3 o'clock Mountain, so he has a great afternoon. Not Richy Hurdle. He keeps going until 5 Mountain, because that's what the business needs. So that's if you set that example, Californians. If you set that example for your team, like Rich is saying, when they don't step up, it is obvious. It's like, well, and you can never expect your employees to work quite as hard as you, because they don't have the ownership in the business that you do. But if you want to even get them close to that, you have to set that example. Rich is exactly right. You can't treat your business like you've made it when you haven't. You got to visualize the next step and go after it. Man, it keeps doing that, Rich. Overheat. Are you shooting in 4K? Overheating. Right. Well, yeah, record again.
All right, record it on.
Well, we're about done. I'm going to ask you one personal question.
Okay, personal question. We'll wrap up. How much time do we have on yours?
Like 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay.
All right, last question.
Okay.
And the Q&A with this. What's your New Year's resolution, Rich? What are you resolving to do? Or what's your resolution?
Dude,
What?
what
do you? 2020's almost here.
Man, I don't want to sound corny on this, but I don't do resolutions. I don't, because for me, I do it every single part of the day. Because the resolution for me, yeah, because the new year's a fresh start. It's like a obvious time. Can you hear me okay? It's echoing in here.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. It's a fresh start. It's the first day of a brand new year. Everybody goes, oh, I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this. You're probably not going to change that. And if you do, it's going to be for a week.
Right.
So what goes into what you were saying is, and I get this from my dad. I really I look up to my dad. He's a Medal of Honor police officer. The dude just taught me to be a man and to just to be accountable. So when I make a decision, I just do it. It doesn't have to be, that's like getting up early in the morning. I can't stand mornings. I literally hate mornings. I would much rather stay up late, but it's like, I'm going to do it and I never look back. I'm just going to do it. So I guess if I have to pick something I want to do in 2020 more than I did in 2019, it's read, because I hate reading, but I do see the value in reading. And I read every morning. I want to do it more. I want to read a book a month or something like that. And, I don't know. So if I had to say something, it's that I want to keep just sharpening that edge and just keep moving forward.
All right. Okay. Well, great answer.
Cool.
I think.
Well, I want to keep going. We're out of time. White Label.
Yeah.
Subscribe to YouTube.
Yeah.
Invite us to your events this year.
Yeah. You got an event that you need speakers at, or you want to hear more about digital marketing, give us a holler. We've got a few already lined up. Excited to be doing that. And, yeah.
We're booking up.
2020 is going to be huge, as they say. And huge. And we're looking forward to having you be a part of it. There are like buttons, subscribe buttons, follow us, because content like this is going to be dropping. Shorter videos are coming out all the time too. Little quick snippets. Anyway, all that stuff is going to be coming soon as well. So we're excited to share more and more with you as we grow the company.
Thanks for listening. Apply it. Go get that business.
That's right.
All right.
Later, guys.